Hey y'all, Chef IrixGuy here, and within this video I'm going to explain how to clean an electric smoker after smoking. So I smoked a pork butt in my electric smoker for approximately 24 hours, waited till it got to 201 degrees internal meat temp. Pork butt was perfect. At the time of filming this video, it's Labor Day 2023, so a lot of y'all are probably asking the same thing. You know, maybe it's your first time using an electric smoker. How do you clean your electric smoker after the smoke? So I'm going to show you step by step. We're going to move the camera over here, and I'm going to show you step by step how I do it. Now, this is how I do it. I always encourage everyone, you know, smokers are different. Follow the manufacturer's recommendations, but with that being said, this is how I do it. So there's a few very important things to take note of. You notice how I store my wood chips in this container. This keeps things very well organized. This right here is my wireless temperature probe. By the way, you can expand this video's description and click the links there to find everything like I use. Now sometimes I'll use this because I didn't have it charged. I've got one that's fully wireless, but for this particular smoke I use this. So this is clean, but it will need to be recharged. So for that reason I keep it outside of my case, so that's a visual indicator that, hey, I need to charge this before I put it back in my storage case. These racks right here, since I only smoked one pork butt, about a 10.2 pound butt, these racks were not used. So since they weren't used, I didn't have to bother with cleaning these racks. Looking inside the smoker, and before we get inside the smoker, I do use an extension cord. So part of the cleaning, or cleanup process I should say, is taking the extension cord and neatly wrapping it up and storing indoors, the extension cord. You can store it while it's not in use and while it's cool. You could store your electric smoker indoors, but I'm going to show you the cover like I use. I just keep my electric smoker outside. Haven't had any problems with it. But the extension cord I'll put inside. Inside the smoker, you will see that I've removed all the racks. One of the racks, just like this rack, is in the dishwasher. So I put it in the dishwasher because it was used. The drip pan I have not yet cleaned, but what I'm going to do is, and see there's a minimal amount of stuff on it, so not really something I care to put in the dishwasher, but I'll get my water hose here in a moment and spray it off and let it dry thoroughly, and then after it's dried I'll put it back in the electric smoker. Depending upon what you're smoking, that drip pan may or may not collect a lot of stuff. Now on the back of the smoker, you've got this piece, which is the drip tray, because there's a hole in the back of this where everything can drip out. Since there wasn't really a lot of drippage, this doesn't have anything in it. And the reason is that this has a water pan, which I'm going to show you in a minute, which was I put in the dishwasher. But sometimes, depending upon what you're smoking, most if not all of it, the juices may land in the water pan, and that's what happened. This is the wood chip tray. You can see there's wood chips that are burnt up. A lot of ash in there. This I'm going to discard properly. I finished smoking yesterday, so these were obviously cool. Never discard hot ashes unless you're a fool, because that can create a fire. And here's some other pieces of burnt wood chips, hickory chips. Just kind of go through your smoker and get any of those out, because you don't want any wood chips outside of your smoker box. Here's one more. Now, the inside here, people are like, man, do you clean the inside of your smoker? Do you clean the inside of your electric smoker? Well, I like to refer to this as patina. That just gives it a good look. It's a well-used look, and you know that your smoker's been used. Now, you would never, at least in my opinion, you would never want to use soap or any sort of cleaning solution that may have an odor or toxic chemicals in it, because anything that you introduce in the inside of your electric smoker, when you smoke the next time, say it was a scented, let's just say a lemon scented dish soap, well, the next time you smoke, you may get some weird flavors in your meat because of the aromatics. So for that reason, I don't use anything to clean the inside of this. Now what I do is I look at this every few months or so, because I smoke a lot. But I look at it every few months or so, and if I see any pieces that look like they could flake off, like this right here, I'll grab them with my fingers and then I'll just discard. Because what you don't want are pieces of, see that right there, that's just from, see if you can see that on the camera. That's just, you know, buildup of smoke from the hickory smoke, or whatever wood you're using. So, you know, go through the inside of your smoker. Anything that looks like it's built up loose, you can gently scrape it off and discard. And the reason I do that is that obviously during a future smoke, you don't want any pieces of, let's just call it, well, it's from the smoke, you know, the smoke buildup. You don't want any of that dropping down into your food. I mean, not that it would necessarily do anything bad, but you don't want stuff in your food that's come off the inside of your smoker. So once I've gone through the entire interior of my electric smoker, again, to recap, everything was cool. The ashes were completely cool. I dumped the ashes out in a responsible location. I went through here and I peeled away any pieces. Now these are my clean grates. So what I can do is put my clean grates back in. These are clean because I didn't use them. I only smoked one pork butt. So that one pork butt fit on one rack. So I'm going to put these back in here. And now what we got to do is get the water pan and the rack that was used. It's been through the dishwasher, it's dry, and we're going to put it back in here. So a few things I've got here. These are my probes, and these particular ones were dishwasher safe, so I washed them. This was one that was in, that used this clip. It made it the ambient probe, measuring the internal temperature of my electric smoker. So this has been cleaned. So what I'm going to do with it is put it, I just store these in with my wood chip so it's all together, and when I go to smoke the next time, I know I've got my wood chips and my probes and everything. So I'm going to put that in there. It's clean and dry. Make sure it's dry. Don't store anything wet. And then this is what I use as my meat probe. This went in my butt. This went in the middle of my pork butt. It's clean and dry. Went through the dishwasher. So I'm going to put it in here for storage. This I'm keeping out because I need to charge before I store it. USB-C rechargeable, very convenient. Now this is the water pan, which I was mentioning earlier. A lot of there was minimal drippage on the drip tray, and that's because this particular smoke, it was over the water pan. So the butt, when the butt dripped, it just dripped into here. So this has been, you know, when you use a water pan, you're going to get a lot of buildup. So what I do, I put my water pan after I've smoked while it's still warm, not too hot to the touch, but while it's still warm, I do it in the sink, and I break away any buildup of garlic, clove, pieces of the butt that have dripped in and hardened. I'll break all that away, and then I'll put it through the dishwasher. So this has been through the dishwasher. Yes, it does have discoloration from smoke. I use my electric smoker, and I use it a lot. But this is clean, it's dry. I'm going to put it in. And then, this right here, you know, even though it's been through the dishwasher, there's some pieces that are stuck. So you know, you may want to get a little scraping tool, or just use your fingers and break away any pieces that may remain after going through the dishwasher. So didn't have much. Sometimes there's more, but if you take these, if you take the rack or racks, in my case I used one rack, if you take it out, so after I finished smoking, after I pulled my butt out of the smoker, what I did is I took, when it was cool enough to touch, I took this rack and the water pan and immediately took to the kitchen, cleaned, and then ran through the dishwasher, you know, while it was still warm. You don't want to let this sit. Say you smoked yesterday, or say you smoked in the morning, your smoke finished rather, you don't want to leave this in the smoker because the stuff will harden. It'll make cleaning up more of a process. So this makes it very convenient, simple, straightforward, and as you might have noticed, you may not have, my smoker does not have a window. And the reason it doesn't, see all that buildup of all the good smokes that I've smoked in this? If I had a window, that window would be covered with that solid black color. So the window you wouldn't be able to see through it. I hate electric smokers with windows, because if you get an electric smoker with a window, you've got to add an additional step to your workflow. Now, after you've been smoking for 24 hours or so, probably the last thing you want to do is have to deal with the smoker while it's warm and clean the inside of that glass, the inside of the window. So for that reason, I don't have a window in my electric smoker, so I don't have to perform that step. I wish there were more electric smokers that did not have windows. And you can find the smoker like I use. Expand this video's description and click the link there. I highly recommend it. But that's how I clean my smoker. That's how I clean my Masterbuilt electric smoker. So it's actually really simple. And like I said, the only thing I got to do now is spray off this drip pan and let it dry, because there is just a little bit on there. And then once it's dry, I slide it in there. And then I cover it up with my cover, which you can also find linked within this video's description. And I store it outside. And so I clean the drip tray, and it's dry, and I put it back inside of there. I'll show you. See, there's the drip tray in the bottom. So I added that back after it was dry and clean. Extension cord, what I recommend doing is lifting it up and draping it over. You don't want it exposed to the elements. This tray, even though that's highly water resistant, what I do is I flip it upside down so this doesn't collect water. I put my cover back on. Making sure that everything is covered. And then once it is, I've got a magnet. And that just better prevents the wind from blowing it off. So that's how I clean my electric smoker and keep it covered while not in use. Be sure to subscribe, ring that bell, and you can expand this video's description and click the links there to find all the equipment like I use. Thanks for your viewership. Y'all have a good day. Hey y'all, IrixGuy here. I hope you enjoyed this video, and please be sure to subscribe to my channel, and when you do, ring that bell icon to be notified whenever I post another video. Thanks for your viewership, and y'all have a good day.